First, I'd like to start off by just working on it. Welcome to our 30th Induction Dinner to the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Our selection committee, which has given so much of ourselves in planning and promoting of tonight's event, hoping for a nostalgia-filled evening to be cherished by our honored guests and their families. We truly want to make this a memorable evening for everyone, both us here on the committee and yourselves. Our inductees exemplify each year in his or her own way, commitment and dedication, which are the cornerstones of this organization. Through their talent, performances, and devotion, they have created memories which have reflected pride and honor in our community. Let us not only look with nostalgia to the past, but pass the torch of inspiring involvement in wholesome extracurricular activities. To the generous advertisers who have made this book possible, we express gratitude and offer our thanks from our hearts. We sincerely encourage all patronizing when you have the opportunity. If you should happen to be in one of their places of business, it doesn't hurt to mention that you saw their advertisement here. Finally, we thank our friends for your presence tonight. Your support validates the mutual hope we have for this organization and expresses the sincerity of your interest in the young people of our community, for they are our future. The initial meeting of the Lyndhurst Athletic Hall of Fame was held on Thursday, September 21st, 1978, at the high school. James Carino, not the James Carino now, was then the Lyndhurst basketball coach and athletic director. He was the driving force behind this organization. He first brought forth the idea and worked closely on preliminary research with officials from the Clifton High School Athletic Hall of Fame, as well as the National Football League Hall of Fame. James Carino presided at the initial induction dinner on May 11, 1979. Later Hall of Fame presidents were Richard Pizzola, Ralph Cardillo, John Rowe, Frank Funo, Don Cavalli, and Frank Woods-Video. You can see in your program that we've listed our charter members. What I'd like to do at this point is just digress for a second and ask Mr. Carino, Dr. Carino, to please step here up for a moment. We have asked Bergen County freeholders for their blessing on presenting a commendation in his name. It reads, Certificate of Commendation honoring James A. Carino in honor and recognition of your instrumental contributions in the formation of the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame, presented May 2018 by the Board of Chosen Freeholders, Bergen County. Dr. Carino?
Michael and the committee, thank you very much. Certainly this was unexpected and genuinely appreciated, so my heartfelt thank you to you and the committee. Enjoy the evening. It's always a very special evening, and I'm honored to have been asked to make an induction presentation of one of our honorees this evening, and I'll talk a little later. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
I'd like to introduce our honored guests that we have here this evening. We have our Commissioner Jarvis. Board of Education member James Chizibuno. Mr. Joe Parasada. And our Vice Principal of the high school, Mr. Frank Finisi. Thank you all. I'd like to introduce our committee members. First, I'm going to start with Chris Ferrara, who's our secretary. Michael Rizzo, our president. Mark Spina. Elena Ferrara-Wise, who could not be here this evening. She had attended an event with her son. We have Mark Bowdis. Mr. Richard Gress, who unfortunately could not be here as well, but he's with his daughter who's training for the Olympic soccer team. Mr. Stephen Cristiano, Thomas Stewart, Dr. Clark Newman, and James Bradley. I'd like to introduce Christopher Arrow, who will be our Master of Ceremonies for the rest of the evening. Good evening, everybody.
It's always a very exciting night. We have a lot of great things going on tonight. So what I would just like to do first was I'd like to ask all the current Hall of Fame members in attendance tonight to please stand up and be recognized. To get our show off the road, I'd like to call up Jeff Radigan as our first presenter.
Our first inductee was a 1968 graduate of Lyndhurst High School and was a football and baseball standout. He was a running back and defensive back on the state sectional football team and an all-county third baseman on the 1968 Bergen County Championship team. He was inducted into the LHS Athletic Hall of Fame in 1995 as a player. After graduating high school, he attended Northland College in Wisconsin, where he continued his baseball career. Our inductee returned home after graduating and became a physical education teacher in Lyndhurst school system in 1972. He began coaching as an assistant coach for football and basketball, but it wasn't until 1980 when he returned to the diamond as the head girls softball coach. This was fairly a new program, and many of the girls had very little experience. Most thought this would be challenging for him, as softball is played differently from baseball. He found success right away, and in his 6 years as the head coach, he compiled a record of 101 victories, 50 losses, and 1 tie. In 1985, he became only the 4th athletic director in school history. A year later, the historic baseball coaching tenure began. His first year was a struggle adapting back to baseball, as his team finished with 11-13 record. In 1987, he won his first of many league championships and qualified for the prestigious Bergen County tournament and finished the season with induction into the first ever member to be inducted as a player and coach.
First off, I'd like to thank the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame Committee for this special honor, and to Jeff for his kind words. I'd also like to extend my congratulations to all of tonight's inductees and their families. Further, a thank you to some of my high school teammates, former colleagues, coaches, and players for joining me tonight. And at this time, I'd like to introduce my family members to you. First, my wife for 40 years, Gwen. My son Anthony, my daughter Gina, and my grandson Francis. Judy and Donna, my brother Kumar, my nephew Michael, and my niece Kathy. Thank you. Also at my table, I want to recognize, as we grew up together in Lyndhurst, playing Little League, Babe Ruth, American Legion, and semi-pro baseball. Together, it was an outstanding time of our lives. He's here with us tonight. He's the former business administrator, superintendent of schools in Lyndhurst, Joseph Abate. You know, I truly enjoyed teaching and coaching various academic and athletic programs during all of my 42 years in education here in the Lyndhurst public school system. From becoming a colleague and friend with some of my former coaches, like Joseph Bola, Don Cavalli, Arnie Marone, and Jim Walker, to continued longtime friendships made with Tom Shoebridge, Steve Picciano, Alan Frank, just to name a few. But most rewarding, establishing new and close friendships with former student athletes of mine, who now themselves became outstanding parents, teachers, and coaches. People like Linda Vosa Grimbo, Joe Castagnetti, Michael Rizzo, Patrick Gautieri, Jeff Radican, Rich Tuero, just to name a few. In all of my years as an educator, teaching and coaching probably thousands of students, the one thing I am most proud of is that whenever someone needed and asked for my help, I would like to say that I was always, and I always would try to do my best to assist in whatever endeavor they had been after. And in closing, my love affair with athletics is still going strong as I umpire high school baseball both in New Jersey and in Florida during the winter months. I also officiate girls volleyball, which is a lot of fun. I play golf as often as I can, and I instruct my grandson Francis, always throw right and bat left. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Butch. We'd like to call up our next presenter, committee member Steve Picciano.
Thank you. Congratulations, Butchie. I'd also like to show my appreciation to Dr. Carino for 40 years of dedication to this organization. Thank you very much. Also like to remember my good friend, coach, and my assistant coach for many years, Don Cavalli. If you check out his memorial page, there's also a very beautiful page about the inductee I'm supposed to talk about the class of 1969. So if you please read that later, I think you really enjoy it. Although the terrible war in Vietnam was going on in 1969, it was still an incredible year of great successes. In fact, the United States launched the rocket ship into space and sent 3 men to the moon, one from a nearby town in New Jersey. But in another famous town, our inductee was also involved with his own brand of rockets and moonshots. But his were launching baseballs into space, over fences, into rivers, parking lots, where no car windows were left or safe. The baseball fields could not contain some of these moonshots. When he wasn't launching baseballs into space, he was, as Jackie Gleason would say, sending bewildered opposing base runners to the moon, Alice, with his rocket-like cannon of an arm. He had such a great throwing arm that an outstanding athlete from the class of 1969, his teammate Dennis Sparta, who played with him since Little League and were co-captains of the 69 PBC championship team, said he was one of the best catchers that ever played at Lyndhurst High School. His demeanor was always the same, no matter if we won or if, rarely, when we lost. He played the game with great enthusiasm. But once the game was over, it was all about enjoying his friends and family throughout his high school years and beyond. He was such a great athlete that he should have kept on playing quarterback, Dennis said, on the football team with his great throwing arm. Dennis went on to say, you had to love the guy. Rest in peace. The love of a classmate, teammate, and
friend is further exhibited by the presence tonight of so many of his family and friends, teammates, and fellow classmates of the class of 1969, sitting at the table right there. Almost 50 years later, we're still supporting him, because for many years he supported us with his unbelievable love. He was one of those classmates that you always wanted to be around with. Two of his classmates wrote to me and wanted me to say a couple of words. One was Mike Alello, and I'll just briefly talk about it. He said, Tommy was his best friend in high school. Tommy was bigger than life. But the Moheisen family was the greatest family. His mom was a saint. Tommy was spontaneous, a willingness to take on the next adventure at the drop of a hat. He went on to talk about his teammates and everything he did for them. And he also went on to talk about how Tom and he separated for about 2 years. Tommy went out to Marshall, Mike was at Trenton, and 2 years later, Mike is walking down the street. There's no cell phones, there's no internet now, so we haven't seen each other in a while. Rolls the window down, jams on the brakes. Mike, I'm getting married, you're gonna be my best man. They were both best men for each other. Mike's wife became best friends with Tommy. That's the type of guy we were talking about here tonight. He was just a tremendous guy. Georgia Wallace gave me a couple points to talk about, and I may go over my 3-minute mandated amount of speaking because these guys gave me this, but I'm going to talk about it. One of them was Molly's truly unique situation. People were having a good time, having a party, we wanted pizza. Tommy went to get pizza. They wanted a special pizza. Tommy drove to New York City, Carmine Street, in the village, got the pizza, brought it back. That was Tommy. That's the type of guy he was. He was used as surprising. Another example was Tom Moheisen and the late Carl Piskatowski were both playing baseball. This is long before the work study program started. They started their own. For 1 week, they took a week off from school because Tommy's uncle needed somebody to run his deli. So they took a week off, and they wanted to get credit for the work study program. Nobody really listened to them, but they did. They started work study in the United States. And probably the most valuable shared experience amongst Moe and his friends was the ability to communicate with a mere glance, a nod, a shrug, a squint, or furrowing of the brow. Words were oftentimes not needed when communicating with Moe, because he was that type of guy. Personally speaking, to know our inductee is an honor. I feel that same way about high school years because it was the same feeling to be with him along with our classmate. Jeff's dad, Jeff Radigan's dad, Jimmy, an accomplished pitcher himself, two of the funniest and greatest guys to be around. They both could have been tremendous late-night hosts or stand-up comedians. They would not only lit up a room with their good humor, their smiles, their jokes, their hijinks and laughter, but also their genuine concern for the well-being of others. Those two guys just worried about everybody else. Selfishly, I think both were taken from this world way too early. Our inductee, like only the great athletes of all time, could handle the mental pressures of the big moment. When it was crunch time, he could slow the game down, stay focused on the moment and task at hand, and produce and come through with the big hit or the great play. He earned 3 varsity letters in baseball and played on the same championship team as legendary Golden Dozen Hall of Famer Teddy Shubridge. Not only did he play on that team, he also shared the same positions. And there was never a drop-off in the strength of the team when they switched positions. So it was a mix and match. They could do anything, either catching or playing first base. He batted .330 during that 68 championship season. In 1969, he had the unenviable task of replacing Teddy. Again, he came up big under the pressure. He batted .440 with plenty of home runs and extra base hits for leading his team to another PBC championship. Vinny Triani of the Bergen record wrote, Moheisen, like Shubridge before him, was a first baseman and catcher, and like Shubridge was the Bears' top hitter, top RBI man, and more often than not came up with a big hit when Lyndhurst needed it most. Our inductee went on to Marshall University to play Division I baseball. His team achievements were the '67 PBC championship. In 1968, he was a member of the PBC undefeated championship. 1968 Bergen County champions. In 1969, again, PBC champions. Individually, 1968, honorable mention, first baseman and catcher in the PBC. 1969, all PBC, first team, first base and catcher. All Bergen County, first team, all groups. the Herald News, all area, comprised of Passaic, Bergen, Morrison, Essex County, all groups, first team. And probably the greatest one, the New York Daily News, All Stars, first team, the whole metropolitan area, all groups. He did this with hard work, class, with that big smile on his face, and with great humility. For those reasons, like Dennis Sparta said, you have to love the guy. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present Tom Moheisen for induction into Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I really want to thank Steve for that great job describing my brother's career, and really for spearheading his induction. Steve, my family really appreciates it, and we also want to thank the committee. My brother would have definitely put this, and my family after, so thank you very much. I tried to write this long narrative about my brother and his life. I knew Steve was going to cover his career, so I didn't want to go too much into the things and repeat everything. But my wife kind of reined me in. She said, there's a lot of people there who don't really know him. So, you better try to keep it as short as you possibly can. So, what I did was that I picked out some things I thought were interesting. Really, they're my memories of him before his great high school career. And here they are. Here's a couple of them. Number one, he played Little League for the Elks Club. Now for me, he was on that team, right?
Yeah.
There we go. For me, this was a big deal because after the games, he would play catch. He'd take me on the field and play catch or run the bases while my mother cleaned the concession stand. A lot of guys who played Little League and Lyndhurst have just probably the same experience. But it was a great experience for me. I still have pictures of him in Little League and us running around the bases. It was a wonderful thing. Number two, there's only about 10 of these, it'll be fast. Number two, Tommy had 6 broken bones by the end of 8th grade. One by a girl. Now, this was probably the greatest gift God had ever given me as a younger brother, 6 years younger than me. Because it was ammunition for 6, 8, 10 months after that. I mean, your girl broke your arm, your girl broke your arm. Of course, I got a beating after that, but it was well worth it, definitely well. It was like a Batman, it was so bang, slam, it was crazy. Number 3, Tommy was an Eagle Scout. He was an Eagle Scout. And it was a lot of fun when he used to come home from camp in the summertime. He would show me all the new rope knots that he learned at camp, and he would proceed to tie me up for 2 or 3 hours. He was actually very thoughtful though, because as I was screaming for help from my mother, he would make sure I could still breathe as he muffled the sound in my hand. Just a little piece in front of the nose there, so. Years ago, Tommy was an altar boy. The calling habit followed him his whole life. No, not really, not at all. He was more devil than angel, and the kind of altar boy I can imagine eating toast in the sacristy before Mass. That was more like this style. His favorite fruits in the 60s were the 4 Seasons and Temptations, and later that was replaced by the Manhattan Transfer, much to my chagrin. So he wasn't a Beatles guy though. He also took piano lessons. I don't think he was very good though. But that may be my sister. Okay, this one you really got to think about. Tommy apprenticed as a butcher and a plumber at the same time. My mother, I swear she used to use hydrochloric acid to wash his hands.
Number 7, he was class blusher in the yearbook, and his draft lottery number was, his selective service draft lottery number was 326. I never saw him so happy. That's like, you guys don't know, it's way down. He wasn't going no matter what. All right. Anybody know his favorite place in town? Anybody, friends over there? What was Tommy's favorite place in town? Lyndhurst Men's Shop. He had it all. He had the pointy shoes, the shiny pants, the silk socks, flowered shirts. He had everything. And I probably borrowed it all. He loved cooking. He loved catalog shopping, umpiring Little League, and playing Santa. Those are some of the other things that he really enjoyed. He was loyal and generous with his time and skill to a fault. And so much so that my sister asked me to add is that if famous loads of money were collecting it, I could go on and on, and a lot of people here can make their own list. But the one thing I remember most about my brother Tommy is that you could always count on him if you needed help. The more help someone needed, the more he stepped up. He had a rough and tough exterior and didn't always express himself politely, as Steve pointed out, not by a long shot. But like a house with good bones, underneath he had a good heart, and we all knew it. He wasn't much with words, but he showed us how he felt with his actions, whether it was the pride he had in his work, or the fun he had playing Santa for the kids. He loved playing baseball in Lyndhurst. He loved his son and his family and friends. And he would have loved this induction, and we all miss him. Thank you.
Robert, great job. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. Next inductee, a 1970 graduate. His selection is well-deserved and went Tommy well past it. I knew he should be in the Hall of Fame, and I couldn't figure out why he was not. I knew how great he was, and I was just frustrated that I could not find information about him, because I've been searching for information for years, with little or no success. Until a chance meeting at one of our mutually favorite places, the Lyndhurst pastry shop. And by the looks of us, it seems like we both frequent that place a little too much. It's been a few years, so I was not sure if it was him. But when he said, "Hey, Steve," I knew it was him. He turned around, that smile, I couldn't forget it. He was with his wife, Barbara. He's here tonight. Thank you very much. I finally got my chance to get some information about his career. But my hopes were quickly extinguished when he told me that he was not sure if he had any data or any newspaper clippings about his career accomplishments. After a few phone calls back and forth, I got the good news. He was able to find a scrapbook of articles that his mom and dad and Jay Horowitz, then the sports information director of Fairleigh Dickinson, FDU, had put together. This was so significant because it also included information about his teammate, most importantly, Tom Bolheiser. So his great career is also in these articles. So I got to do both of them. I found some great information. A few others soon to be future Hall of Famers will come from that list, that same era. So the committee thanks you and your parents for doing that for us. My recollection of our inductee goes back to our friendship at Washington School, playing in the sandlot, an actual sandlot. It was sand, it was not concrete, it was sand. Behind the building during phys ed classes, or after school and pickup games, baseball, we play softball, football, punch ball, up on the blacktop, off the wall, basketball, everything. He was just a good, great, all-around kid who loved to play sports. It was clear early on he was a special athlete then, because he had that innate ability to see the whole field and anticipate what was going to happen before anybody else saw that play. Like Tommy, he could slow it down mentally and make the right play when others were really not sure what to do. But who would think that only a few short years removed from that area, that lanky kid from Washington School, be the starting shortstop and leading hitter as a sophomore on 3 consecutive Passaic Valley championship teams and the state championship team, especially the great Lyndhurst Golden Bear baseball teams. Under the hard-nosed and fiery coach Frank Ruggiero, it just did not happen.
Sophomores did not start, sophomores did not lead off, they weren't the shortstop. But it was different. This guy was an exception. In fact, Ruggiero, a man of few accolades and fewer quotes in newspapers, if you know Frank Ruggiero, newspapers were not his favorite spot. He actually was quoted as saying, he is the best sophomore prospect I ever had. Now there were shortstops were usually good fielders, and whatever they got from hitting was a bonus. But he was the exception. Not only was he the exemplary fielding shortstop, he was also one of the best hitters in the program, who crushed baseballs with power and high batting average. He also possessed speed and a great arm to make him a five-tool player, leading his team to championships every year he was on the team. He batted over 400 for a 3-year career, and as a senior, he played every game at shortstop, and despite a small slump, batted .470, hit 3 home runs while playing with former shortstop to lead his team to that coveted state championship. He made very few errors in his career, and most of those came when he got the balls that other shortstops couldn't get them. So he made the degree of difficulty a little tougher for himself. Our inductee was a natural leader, whose talking came from his bat and his great glove. Never boastful, but always a quiet confidence in his ability and mental makeup to achieve an extraordinary level. A perfect example of his toughness and leadership was exhibited in a state tournament game in Newton in 1970 on the way to that state championship. With LHS losing 8-1 after 2 innings, playing with only 2 starters due to illness and injuries, things looked fair for the Golden Bears in their state championship. But he and his teammates, the late Eddie Krause, who had a comeback, scoring 7 runs in the 7th inning, tied a game, and another run in the 8th to win the game. Not only was he significant hitting and fielding that game, but more so leading his predominantly JV players to that victory with his leadership. As their quest for a state championship was kept alive. At any time throughout his career, if you read an article about high school baseball, you would read his name, and the bylines usually read something like this. Murray had 3 hits and drove in 4 runs. Murray led the offense with a home run and 2 doubles. Murray tripled the bases loaded with the winning runs. So on and so on. Berger Knight, the Herald News, the Daily News. It's important to note when I asked him for stats and information I could use, he said he only had that scrapbook to give me. I asked him why, and he said because Frank Ruggiero's edict was players were never allowed to ask what their batting average were, or look at the scorebook, because it's all about winning as a team with Coach Ruggiero. He said, Coach Ruggiero's principles are easy. Players play, Coach Ruggiero coaches, and the quotes and the reporters, that's the stats, that's what they do. Our job is playing and winning. That was the end of the discussion, he said. Those who knew baseball found it easy to write and talk about it, though. Bruce Chadwick, who chaired the selection committee for the New York Daily News All-Star team, wrote, Murray is a big bat and a great glove. That kind of says it all when you're choosing an All-Star team. You add the great work ethic that he has passed on to his 2 sons, Andrew and Alan, and his leadership characteristics, and you have a great baseball player. Our inductee was recruited as a Division I scholarship player at Philly Dickinson, played 4 years for former Baltimore Oriole player, and then managed for FSU John Rosino. At FSU, he led his team to 3 winning seasons and capped off his career with a 22-9 record as a senior. To this day, his .325 career batting average is still in the top 20 at the college, and his 12 career triples are still the FSU score record. I recently spoke with Jay Hartlitz, now the Vice President of Media Relations for the New York Mets, and after all these years since his FDU years, he remembers the scouting report on our inductee. He said, a hell of a baseball player, an outstanding hitter with good power in all fields, a versatile position player at shortstop and second base, can make all the plays, has an outstanding arm and great speed. Due to his busy schedule, he said he would not be able to get here tonight, and he has a Met game tonight. He apologized for not attending and sent his congratulations to our inductee. His team accomplishments were 68 BBC undefeated championship, 1969 BBC championships, 1970 BBC championships, state champions in 1970, individually 68 honorable mention BBC, 69 all BBC first team, all Bergen County, all groups honorable mention, 1970 all BBC first team, all Bergen County first team, all groups, Herald News first team, all groups, New York Daily News All-Stars first team, all groups, full scholarship, NCAA Division I Philly Dickinson University. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present Rick Merritt for induction to the Lyndhurst High School Athletic.
used to have one deal that if he was not too happy with how the pitchers were performing, he would just burn the ball back on fair so they could throw it to him. He was a warrior. At the end of the game, you could see him sitting at the end of the bench, his face caked with dirt and sweat, and there was always blood somewhere on his uniform. He was fast. After Lyndhurst, I went to Fairleigh Dickinson, and I was lucky to have 3 coaches that shaped me. There was Coach Richard O, who got me all the fundamentals. There was Coach Bob Molheisen, who was the American Legion team, who basically said, play the game and enjoy it and have fun. And at Fairleigh Dickinson, we had John Orsino, who taught me the nuances of the game as far as things like hitting, working the count, and those things. Someone taught those. So I'm very honored to have been chosen here tonight. This is something I will never, ever forget. Thank you very much.
Everyone eat enough? Did you have enough to eat? Want any more? On the house, no problem. I was asked by the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame Committee to induct our dear friend as a contributor. Before I do, I'd just like to take a few moments to introduce his family members that are in attendance here tonight. His daughters, Judy and Joanne, and their husbands, Paul and Jamie. His sons, Joe, Jamie, and John. His grandchildren, Joe and his wife, Sonia. Matt and his wife, Lori. Lauren, Jenna, Anthony, Michael, and John. Our inductee's wife, Louise, who resides in Florida, was unable to attend tonight, but extends her warm congratulations to her beloved husband and family members, and misses everyone tremendously. Our inductee served 24 years as an industrial arts instructor at Lyndhurst High School. He was the athletic equipment manager for at least 20 of those 24 years. In addition, this inductee was a ticket seller and security staff member during home athletic events. And during these athletic events, our inductee would often cook food for the other workers. He cooked a variety of things, but the easiest and most favorable was his soubrette hot dogs. And of course, what made them a household favorite was his special homemade hot onions. They were so good that Coach Shoebridge came up with the idea to solicit our inductee to cook his specialty dogs and onions as a fundraiser for his track team's travels to 10 relays. The dogs with the hot onions soon became a fan favorite at all home Lyndhurst High School athletic events. And when Coach Shue finally invested in the potato rolls, his track team traveled first class all the way. At this time, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to submit the name Sal Palazzo for induction into the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Sal's daughters, Judy and Joanne, will accept on his behalf.
and the selection committee for choosing to recognize our father and his contributions to Lyndhurst High School and its athletic department over the years. It is truly humbling. We would also like to congratulate all of tonight's honorees. This is a very deserving, distinguished group, and our father would be so proud to be recognized along with all of you, proud to know he was going into the Hall of Fame with such an accomplished collection of individuals. Our father had a passion for Lyndhurst High School and all its students. He shared that passion through athletics, working with the coaches and the athletes here, always. Our father took pride in being that go-to guy, always finding ways to help the coaches and athletes, and he cared about all of them. He took his job and responsibilities very seriously because he knew that lessons learned while playing sports and the relationships built through athletics last a lifetime. He treated everyone with respect and always made sure to give the players and coaches the tools they needed to succeed. We, his family, know that to be true because he did the same for us. He put all of us ahead of himself, helping all of us learn life lessons at home, the same way he helped so many at the school. He still impacts his family today. His many grandchildren in attendance tonight are proof of all that. He did so much for us, so much for Lyndhurst High School. To think that after all of this time, his impact is still felt, that his legacy can live on through his remarkable honor is almost beyond words. So on behalf of the entire Palazzo family, we want to thank you. Thank you for recognizing our dad, our grandfather. He was already in our Hall of Fame. We're thrilled to know Lyndhurst High School believes he's a Hall of Famer too. So thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a special honor and privilege for me to be given this opportunity to present the name of our next inductee into the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame this evening, class of 2018. If I may digress for just a moment, I'd like to give you a very brief historical perspective about the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and consider the continued commitment, passion, and effort of the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame selection committee members who, for soon to be 40 years, have dedicated themselves to maintaining the vision and mission of this organization. Michael DeMarco, the current president of the Hall of Fame, and his committee certainly deserve your acknowledgement for perpetuating the purpose and values this organization constructed. When the foundation was set to establish this special forum to honor the great athletes, coaches, and contributors, those who had built and those who are still building upon Lyndhurst High School's excellence in interscholastic sports in Bergen County and throughout New Jersey. That standard of excellence dates back to the 1920s and has continued for nearly 100 years. I ask you to join me in expressing appreciation for the work of Mike DeMarco and his committee and all committee members dating back to the 1978-79 school year. No other high school Hall of Fame can claim the quality and the sustainability like that of the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Please join me in applauding the current and past committee members dating back to 1979 when the Charter Selection Committee was established and inducted in gold. Michael and your committee, congratulations. At this time, I call upon a gentleman and longtime great coach who served as a coach for this inductee back in the early 1980s, Mr. Tom Schubert, who's standing with me, and will be a co-presenter of the award this evening. During his freshman year as a member of the freshman basketball team, this youngster had little or no experience in playing the game. His determination, however, hard work, infectious joy of the sport, and his desire to improve his skills propelled him to improve his skills to become a varsity player in his junior year. As a freshman, he saw limited playing time. As a senior, he and his teammates were known throughout the state of New Jersey. After graduating from high school, he attended the University of Delaware to play NCAA Division I basketball. What a remarkable transition in only 4 years. Again, a tribute to his love of the game, his dedication, and of course, his affection and camaraderie with his teammates. As is customary, I will read some of the impressive statistics that are important in the review of one's credentials. However, in my view, stats are not the most important factor in bestowing recognition and honor to those who accomplish great things like our honored guests this evening. The most important aspect of this particular student athlete was not the quality of his play, rather his attitude, unselfishness, and the depth of his character. He was and he does remain a modest and well-adjusted man, although he may not be impressed with these accomplishments. Surely his family and you, the audience, will be. In his junior year, 1980-81, he was named honorable mention American Division Urban County Scholastic League. He averaged 10 points a game. During the summer of 1981, he and two of his teammates, both are here this evening, Richie Dutch Castle and John Puzzio. I'm sorry, John isn't here, but Bobby Herman is here, another teammate, great teammate. Attended the 5-star basketball camp. At that time, the 5-star camp was the most prominent off-season gathering of high school talent in the country. He, Dutch, and John Puzzio played with Billy Thompson from Camden High School, played at University of Louisville and the Los Angeles Lakers of the NBA, and also with Ernie Myers of North Carolina State's 1983 NCAA championship team. During his senior year, he was second team All-Bourbon County Urban Record, first team All-Area Earl News, third team Group 2 All-State Star Legend. He played in the North-South All-Star game at St. Peter's University. Incidentally, during that season, he scored 42 points on 17 of 19 from the field in one game during the senior year. And that 42 points was a Lyndhurst High School record that stood for 36 years. From 1982, he was awarded through 1986, he was awarded a 4-year scholarship at the University of Delaware, where he played for 2 years. His career, unfortunately, was cut short due to a sciatic nerve condition. A couple of highlights from his college career: scored 28 points against Glassboro and 20 points against Bucknell. He moved to North Carolina in 1993 for a job opportunity with a pharmaceutical company, and he has enjoyed a wonderful career in corporate leadership. Recently celebrated his 25th year with his company. He's married to Jerry. They have 2 children, Anissa and George. Anissa is age 14, George age 12. In closing, might I also add his mother and father, like all of the parents of our athletes back then, were incredibly supportive, patient, and unified in their backing of the basketball program and the athletic program at Lyndhurst High School. I remember them very well. I was honored to have those relationships with the parents of our athletes. At this time, I would like Tom Shoebridge, who was a truly outstanding basketball coach, as well as football coach and track coach, to induct this accomplished student athlete into the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Tom, as I've said to you personally, in private, and as I've said in public on many occasions, the success of so many athletes of the past would not have been had it not been for your dedication to Lyndhurst High School sports and the young athletes that you have the privilege to coach. Tom, kindly conduct this ceremony.
At this time, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to induct the name of George Perez to the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
My brother, my twin brother, he couldn't make it tonight, he had a prior obligation. So he was a lot, I was going to open up with that, but now that's not here. So there we go. People say, because like, I'm in sales, so I go to a lot of different locations around the Southeast. People ask me, you play basketball there? Yeah, okay, yes. And they want to know, like, when did you play? Try to describe to them the era. So it's like, we start with, like, Reagan was the president. Your mortgage rates were 18.5% in March of 1982. And then looking like that, all right, so let me squeeze this down to a point for you. Shorts were shorts, right? Where our basketball shorts were the pride of every guy walking on South Beach of France. They was like, that's what I want to wear. So those were the days, right? If I had two people I could wish was my mom and dad. My mom, she was a social creature. My dad worked 2 jobs for 40 years, right? So on the weekends, you want to go out for stuff, right? Once I have a couple of Budweisers, mow the lawn, tell me what we weren't doing right, and then you move on to the next week. But when we played basketball, my mom got to know all the other parents, and she had this opportunity to bond with the Castles, the Hermans, Mrs. Puzio, Mrs. Delaval, and for her, what a great outlet it was. My dad, he would have loved to be here too, but after his second or third beer, he would have a much better time than he had for the first 15, 20 minutes, right? And then I think about, if there's one other guy that I knew that really changed my life, it was one of my teachers, Michael Sabella. For those of you guys that was a college, he's one of those people who's a great man. He gave me, I didn't know anything about history until I walked into his U.S. history class. And he gave me such a passion for World War II, post-World War II history, how the world works, how things change, what great leaders do, and I'll never forget that. And other than that, he was just a great gentleman that, like, the morning that he knew we had a game, he gave me 2 or 3 minutes on the floor to talk about, like, we're playing tonight. What does it look like? Yeah, we're going to win again. And then we had the opportunity, so I'll never forget it. You walk into our building, and the ticket booth on your left, the first door to your right, that was his station. And he always had a good word to say. He would stop me, Puzio, and Richie, and he'd ask us, what's it look like? The guy said, well, we can do this, we can do this. It wasn't always at home, but he always made it to the away games. He went to Fort Lee, to Cliffside Park, to Richfield Park, to anyone, it didn't matter. We beat them all, it didn't matter, right? So, but the only reason we beat them, you take a look at things that happen, but why do things happen in your life? I've had amazing opportunities. A lot that came from my upbringing with coach, outside of my parents, Coach Randall and Mr. Shoebridge, they made me
today, without a doubt, because they had the foundation. They had us numerous hours a day to point you in the right direction. I can't thank you enough for what you guys have done in my life and for countless other kids that came through your programs. So you take a look at that and you say, I mean, I wish my kids had the opportunity right now, where I grew up in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, 2 square miles, I don't know how many thousands of people we have here, but the pride in playing for your team, your city, your town, your school, was everything. And the greatest joy was we played, and I don't know how many points I scored. Rich, I don't know how many points you scored, but we had a great core of athletes, and there were guys that came before me, so so first of all, North Carolina, known his name, Kopaz, Zornecki, we have Prince, and there's no Jay Kowski, right? But that's how things change. But those guys set the stage for us. We come in, and my senior and junior year, we had, it's either 59 or 60 wins and 7 losses. So think about that. We only lost to 3 teams that we didn't again play. We lost to Lyndhurst, we lost to Arlington, and I'm on the sheet here, and we lost to Berkeley. Very Catholic, and Rich explained why before. But we should have, I'm confident it was the ultimate preparation that our coaches put into us, plus the talent we had on the team. We would be 2 out of 3 series, we'd be in the ball every day, every time. They taught me, even today I carry into my work, it's about being prepared. I went to a lot of business meetings, and why are we down this quarter, why are we down that quarter? It's like, you know what's happening? How do you tell me, right? But the real answer is that you know the preparation, the ultimate preparation. If you know your business, you know what you're going to do. We knew what teams were going to do before they did it, and it was so easy. The only time I didn't listen to Coach Grant, it was one time, he didn't know until tonight. We played Harrison, I'm playing this guy, he had about 6'2", 6'3", I don't know. But all I know, our play was to front them at the post, right? So my job, get in front of the guy, say, he's 16, he can jump this high. There's nothing more, so I had like 12 blocks that I could beat him handily. It was the only time I didn't pay attention to you, so. But that's it. Every time I paid attention to you, we were on the right track. We disagreed one night. I want to say just a couple more things. I got 2 short slippers, but I'm going to tell you with the platform that, like I said, Kenny Kopaz and Stephen Prince and Bobby J. Kelsey, John Zornecki, Bobby Harmon for a couple of years. These guys, they set the stage for what we did. It was easy for us to step in. We all came together at the same time. I didn't know John or these guys in a grade school, so I went to Franklin School. I didn't want to be outside Franklin School. We all come together. We have great coaching. It puts you together. Lucky to be there, lucky to be talented. It was the discipline and the approach that we had to the game, and we won a lot of games. But it had not been for the guys before us, we would not have been nearly as successful. So I want to thank those guys for that. Tuesday and Friday nights were basketball in Lyndhurst, whether you were at home or whether you were going to one of the towns that I mentioned. I hope my kids someday can experience the privilege of having a whole community behind you. We had a citation from the mayor of Lyndhurst and all the commissioners on saying what a special time it was for us to be in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, and what our record was when we met the town. And that's why I press my kids to play for their schools, because it's the last pure athletic competition out there, right? So once you get to college, you owe them something, they owe you something. AAU, same kind of deal. If you play for your school or for your town, it's got passion playing for guys you play with. So I try to instill that in them. I think so for the great attention. I got 2 quick stories on my house because I'm tired. Did I say before? So I learned a lot about friendship growing up in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, and one of my best friends in the world, I got 2 of my best friends are here tonight, thankfully, Lou Morella and Steve Rollo. Lou, we lived next to each other since we were 4. We have arguments from time to time. So he taught us about how do we, if you have an argument, how do you make things better? How do you move forward? So we're probably 10, 11 minutes, we weren't 12 yet. But we had an argument of something stupid about probably the ground ball was hit to him that he might have thought might not have thought was an out, not an out. But we had that argument, and then we don't talk to each other for a couple hours. He bangs on my door and he says, "Hey, man, why don't we do this? Why don't we go out and get something to eat? Go to the diner. Everyone goes to the diner. We'll talk about it." And what he does, I said, "I don't have any money." He goes, "My grandfather just gave me $20. Go to the diner. We'll sit. We'll talk like gentlemen. We'll move on." So we go there. I have a cheeseburger deluxe. I'm 11. And I get a chocolate milk, and then I get he said, "Do you still want this?" "Yeah, I'd like a piece of cheese." "Blueberry cheese?" "Of course." So we get it. So at the end of it, he stares across at me with the most sincerity, compassion, affection you could have for an 11 or 12-year-old guy. He goes, "I got to tell you something." "Yeah, tell me anything." He goes, "I don't have any money." The second thing is Coach Carino and Mr. Shoebridge. I was a sophomore, and in my sophomore year, I was a practice dummy, right? I mean, Kopaz and those guys, Bobby's a junior, Kenny's a senior, and we're doing what we can, and you just want to support those guys so they can win. And Coach, they left a note in my locker, and it says, listen, learn, and work hard. And that was all it is. I have this on my desk, and that was 37 years ago. So I just want to say thank you to Mr. Jim Carino, Dr. Jim Carino, Mr. Shoebridge, Tommy Shoebridge. He told me my doctor is Jay. He says, call me Jay, and I feel weird about it. So Mr. Shoe will always be Mr. Shoe to me, and I love you guys. Thank you for everything. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me, my teammates, and for this great group of people from Lyndhurst. So God bless you all, and I won't bring anything else around.
Good evening. I just want to echo something that Mr. Bruce was just talking about. I graduated Lyndhurst High School about 15 years after he did, and when I hear him talking about how the coaches that he had through his life, helping shaping him into the man that he is today, I look around the room tonight and I have my varsity baseball coach and Butch Servideo here, Alan Frank, my freshman baseball coach, Chizzy Muno, my head football coach, Frank Measy and Tom Shoebridge, my assistant coaches, Coach Herman over there, my JV basketball coach, and Chuck Martin, my head basketball coach. I mean, these guys are all still here. And it's 20, 30 years later, they're still giving back, contributing to Lyndhurst High School. And that goes also for all the recreation coaches that we have in our town. I just want to take a second and thank them from my heart personally, but from all of us and all the inductees here, please thank you for all the coaching, for everyone in this room that they're volunteering. And one other thing I just want to point out is that earlier Jeff Radigan, when he was talking about Mr. Servideo, he made mention about how Butchie's coaching career really didn't take off until 2005, and that's really when his program started to explode. That was the same year that Mr. Walker, Jeff, Patrick, and I came on his staff, so I just want to make sure everyone realizes that. We love you, Coach. Our next inductee is a member of the class of 1995, and he was an outstanding two-sport athlete. During his LHS career, our inductee earned 4 varsity letters in bowling and 3 varsity letters in baseball. Our inductee was captain of both teams in his senior year and was recognized at the all-county level in both sports. As a bowler, our inductee dominated the BCSL National Division for 4 straight years, earning first-team All-League each year. Our inductee led our bowling team to winning records all 4 years under Hall of Fame coach Dave Lavelli. During our inductee's junior year, at the Bergen County Tournament with over 150 bowlers, he placed 3rd in that tournament. Our inductee finished his junior year with a 192 average and earned 13 All-County. As a senior, he improved to an average of 193 and was named 2nd team All-Bergen County. Our inductee was the backbone of the Lyndhurst High School bowling program for the mid-90s, with a career-high game of 269 and a career-high 2-game series of 479. Truly outstanding accomplishments given the technology that they had in the 90s in bowling. But the baseball diamond was where our inductee's true love was, and the place where he was most dominant was on the pitching mound. Our inductee pitched at the varsity level for Hall of Fame coach Butch Servideo for 3 years. He was a unanimous selection to BCSL National First Team All-League as a pitcher both years, as a junior and senior. He posted a record of 4-1 as a sophomore, 7-3 as a junior, and an amazing 10-1 as a senior. His pitching statistics were dominant in Bergen County. In his senior year, he struck out 97 batters in 92 innings and only walked 17 batters the entire year. He also recorded an ERA of 0.91 to go along with his 4 saves. For his career, our inductee struck out nearly 200 batters, compiled a record of 21 wins and only 5 losses. These statistics led to him being named First Team All-Bergen County, First Team All-Area by the Herald and News, First Team All-State Group 2 by the Star-Ledger, and he was selected to play in the prestigious North-South baseball game at Princeton University, a game in which he earned the victory in relief. Our inductee pitched the Golden Bears into the county and state tournaments as a sophomore, junior, and senior. During his senior season, our inductee was named the Athlete of the Week by the Herald and News after going 3-0 with a save during his 11 2/3 innings pitched. At the plate, he went 7 for 13 with 3 doubles and 6 RBIs that week. In his senior season, he also had a batting average of .342 to help himself out on the mound. Now, fortunately for our inductee, high school baseball had pitching limitations. Otherwise, his right arm might have fallen off. Pitchers were only allowed to pitch 10 innings in a 4-day span. So Butch Servideo would sit there every week and say, okay, he's going to pitch 2 innings on Tuesday. Then I'm going to bring him in for a 1-inning tune-up for Thursday, when he's going to pitch the entire game. And he would exhaust Joe's arm as much as he possibly could. Our inductee is a very soft-spoken, quiet young man when he played for the Golden Bears. As his catcher for most of his career, from Little League to American Legion, through high school and senior leagues in the summer, as well as the Met League, I would constantly try to get him to talk more. I would go out to the mound and try to tell him jokes to lighten the mood. I'd quote my favorite movie, Bull Durham, which I still think he's never seen, and I would simply try to calm him down when the game was getting tough. But he never needed any of that. His pitching did all the talking. But there definitely were a few times where he told me to get the hell back behind home plate and don't screw it up. Like when I sailed the ball into left field when his runner was stealing third to ruin his first high school shutout ever. He still hasn't forgiven me for that. Our inductee graduated number 3 in his class academically from Lyndhurst High School and went on to pitch for Fairleigh Dickinson University. Our inductee is currently a senior applications developer at UPS. His 2 biggest fans were always his mom, Linda, and his dad, Joe. And I know your dad passed away only a few months ago, but I am sure that he is looking down on you now, as proud as he's ever been of you his entire life. Our inductee is the proud dad of Nicholas and Ashley, and is the husband of his lovely wife, Jennifer. I was a very lucky person to have a front row seat to this truly outstanding athletic career, and that's why at this time, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present the name Joseph Caggiano for induction into the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
athletes during the 90s decade. During her career, she found much success in track and field as she earned 4 varsity letters. She excelled both on the track, in the sprint events, as well as the jumping events throughout her high school career. From an early age, this candidate was trained in formal classical ballet. That training is credited for the development and strength of the athlete that she became. She started her early success in grammar school Olympics when she would win races even against the fastest boys at the school at the time. She was inspired to join track by Miss Carol Rich, her elementary gym teacher, who actually took her to the track to time her one day. Coaches that worked with our next inductee were in awe over the raw talent of this young lady. She came in with the ability to run fast and jump far. Everything a coach would want in a track athlete. It came naturally to her after her physical ballet training. Coach Shoebridge had this candidate work with the men's track team when noticing that she needed to be pushed further. Coach Vistola remembered her as a stud athlete and could recall several times when she was asked to run and jump in 4 events. She wouldn't complain and would go out and win each event. Teammates had a great deal of respect for her as a leader. Through her work on the track and in the jumps, she was able to turn that raw talent into success on the league, county, and state level. Through her career, this inductee set the school record in the long jump with an amazing jump of 17 feet 3 3/4 inches. She also set the school record in the triple jump with a jump of 36 feet 9.5 inches. Records that stood for quite some time. She was first team All-League in the long jump, triple jump, and 100-meter sprint. On the county level, she was the Bourbon County Group 2 champion and the second place finisher in the Bourbon County Meet Champions in the long and triple jumps. This county was also the Group 2 state section champion in the long jump. With the help of her guidance counselor, Mr. Picciano, she got an early acceptance to Brown University, but turned it down to attend Fordham University, where she was offered a half academic and half athletic scholarship. She gave up the athletic scholarship to dedicate more time to her studies and graduated with a BA in political science and a minor in psychology. She worked as a paralegal for 10 years and then went on to pursue a new path in the medical industry, becoming an EMT. She hopes to become a paper barrier technician by the fall. Our inductee resides in Lyndhurst and is joined here this evening by her parents, Naomi and Lawrence. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to submit the name of Charnae A. Carter for induction into the Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I wouldn't even be here, but without them,
I need nothing. I owe everything to them, really. And thank you all for that. I was very lucky to have Coach Cristiano as my guidance counselor also. A big thing to remember is if I didn't have good grades, I wouldn't be playing sports or anything of the sort. So he always instilled in me the importance of academics as well as athletics. So thank you very much. Coach Bastola, one thing that is carried through to this very day in everything that I do is when I'm under a lot of stress and anything difficult, I think to myself back, it was in New Milford, and it was elite champions, and I had to run 100 meters, and I always get so sick before I have to do so. And he'd always say to me, Charmaine, just do the best that you can do. He would say these words to me all the time, just do the best that you can do. And for some reason, that would always calm me down, and I am so grateful for that, because in anything that I've done thus far in my life, I always think back to that. Just do the best that you can do. So thank you very much. Coach Shoebridge, I want to thank you very, very much for allowing me to train these boys. That really gave me an edge as far as my performance out there. And I have the greatest respect for you. I want to thank you so much. And one thing I learned as I was a statistician for football was responsibility, because it sure didn't take a lot to realize when you were late for practice or you didn't show up for a game, what would happen if Coach Bruno or Shoebridge knew that? The next thing to follow, you would drive the bus to someone's house and proceed to pick them up. So you knew what responsibility was all about, because Lord knows you do not want Coach Shoebridge or Coach Bruno having to show up at your house and pick a bus. So I'd like to thank Coach Shoebridge for everything. Really, you're like a legend to me. Coach Primorano, I don't know if he's here. Okay, Coach Primorano and Coach Mulaney, I'd like to say thank you to them also. But again, very, very much to the committee. It was a great honor, most humble, and thank you everyone else for coming and being here. One thing, last thing I'd like to say is that the people that are in your life, they make who you are. The time that they take to be in your life or to coach you or anything of the sort, those are the people that make you who you are. If you take one person out of your equation, you wouldn't be the person that you are right now sitting here. So all these people, they're all important, but especially the coaches, because they laid the foundation to continue perhaps what your parents have laid in you and your virtues. And for that, I am forever grateful. So thank you.
All right, good evening once again. The 2008 baseball team was truly a special team. We had both talent and depth. For a small group, one school, we had 6 pitchers we could hit, 1 through 9. We had speed on the base paths, and we played great defense. But most importantly, we had a tremendous coaching staff, as Michael Rizzo already alluded to, all of whom played for me during their high school years. I had learned early on as a coach to surround yourself with outstanding assistants, and that's just what I did. Patrick Altieri was now the head coach of the Lyndhurst High School baseball team. Jeff Radigan is now the athletic director of Lyndhurst High School. Michael Rizzo, now Lyndhurst Elementary School principal. And the one assistant who was a head coach long before me, and who kept all of us on an even keel, and is still going strong as a volunteer coach for Patrick, and that's Mr. Jim Walker. There are so many stories about this group of fine young men, from the trip to Wildwood Miguel and Eddie's birthday party, to the escape of Tommy's boa constrictor, to the Gatorade drink, seeds, and gum provided by Mr. Jazz prior to each home game, to the Lyndhurst Fire Department spraying water on everyone after the sectional championship game at Breslin, to the broken ribs and the tattoos. So as not to bore you with too many of these stories, I'm just going to narrow it down to the last 2 games of the season, of which Coach Radigan told most of it. The North 1 Group 1 Finals to be played at Ramapo College against Park Ridge. The winner moves on for the right to play for the state championship down at Toms River. Prior to the first pitch, our good friend and my former baseball assistant coach of 10 years, God rest his soul, Mike Sabella. He comes up to me and he declares, "I have no doubt that Lyndhurst will win and move on to the next round." He continues to explain, as he arrived in the Ramapo parking lot with his wife, he had to wait for a bear to cross his path before they could move on to the baseball field. He said that the bear was a sign and that the Golden Bears would be moving on to Toms River. True story, that's a true story. As fate would have it, with the score tied at 1, our ace pitcher Glenn Flora, who pitched 10 strong innings, had to be taken out due to the pitching limitation rules. Glenn wanted me to replace him and insert his good friend at first base instead of himself. However, I quickly reminded him that his turn at bat would be coming up in the bottom half of the 11th, and that he was one of our better hitters. Well, Park Ridge scores an unearned run in its half of the 11th, so we're down 2-1. As we come together prior to our turn at bat, our quote of the season, "The time is now." The entire team began chanting, "The time is now, the time is now." Bubba Jazz leads off the bottom of the 11th with a single, and up steps Flora. He proceeds to hit a 400-plus foot home run out of the park. The Nurse wins 3-2. 5 days later, we go down to Toms River to face Robbinsville for the overall Group 1 state championship. On that June day, the game time temperature was 98. Glenn was on the hill once again. With 2 out and the bases loaded in the bottom of the 3rd, it was Evan Lavario who came through with the bases clearing double. The Nurse moved out to a 7-0 lead in the 5th. The best quote of that day came from Tommy the Gun when he said to Coach O'Teary, "Is this the best the South has to offer?" The Golden Bears went on to win 7-3. At the conclusion of the game, Coach Schubert came up to me and said, "You beat everyone. There's nobody else to play." We were the 2008 overall Group 1 state champions. Will those members of the team please stand up and be recognized? Thank you very much.
Take a moment to thank everyone for coming tonight. Thank all the athletes, and thanking their coaches. But always remember, all of us kids from Lyndhurst, we have the best coaches in our mom and dad. They were our coaches. They taught us who we were going to be. And as we look around the room, now we are all parents. I think that's the connecting factor of this whole evening, is that we did have great coaches. To all you athletes, athletes, our parents, and even the guys from the other towns, we had great parents. And that's what makes this so special. Our next inductee is a member of the class of 2005 and was among the top female athletes during the decade from 2000 to 2010. During her career at LHS, she found success on the soccer field as well as the throwing event in track and field. Not only was she a notable athlete in LHS, but also received honors at the Lee County and state level. On the soccer field, she received 4 varsity letters, playing mainly as an offensive forward and occasionally a midfielder. She was coached by Lori DeLuca, who said that she is one of the kids who came through our program that improved the status of our success. She said she was tough and determined and always gave 100% effort. She set the example for future players. Coach DeLuca wishes she could be here tonight to congratulate her in person. And as an active coach in Lyndhurst, our girls soccer team to this day has won 6, 7, 8 straight league titles and has been either the number 1 or number 2 seed in the state tournament, all because of athletes like our inductee. She was first team all-league in soccer her junior and senior year. In track and field, this outstanding athlete had no experience prior to high school, since there's not a developmental program in town. As a matter of fact, this young lady had played softball for 8 years. But when she started high school, she thought she would give track and field a try. She even chose not to play basketball so that she could lift and prepare for her seasons of throwing. What great decisions she made as she immediately found success in the throwing events. She was coached by a Hall of Famer, Coach Chizzy Buno, who remembers her as a hardworking, talented thrower who was the first out to practice and the last to leave. Outstanding work ethic is what led our next inductee to much success as she earned 4 varsity letters in track and field. Coach Vistola remembers her as a tough kid who never backed down. She was selected first team all-league in the shot put, javelin, and distance. That's first team in 3 different events. She was the Bergen County, Group 1 and 2. That's half of our county. She was the champion in the shot put and javelin. In the Bergen County Meet of Champions, which is all the schools in Bergen County, Catholic schools, big group 4s. At that county meet of champs, she won the shot put and again was county champion. On the state level, she was the New Jersey state sectional champion in the shot put and discus. She finished second in the New Jersey state group meet in the discus. That's of all the group all the group 2 schools in the entire state. Her top shot put throw ranks 31st among all-time throwers in Bergen County. She was selected in Observer's Athlete of the Week and remains to this night the school record holder in the shot put at 39 feet 3.5 inches. This candidate now works as a team leader with patient access services for Ohio Health, the largest healthcare system in Ohio, where she now resides. She married her high school sweetheart, Barry Green, another great athlete from Lyndhurst. Now, Barry Allen Linden. They have 2 beautiful young boys, Jackson, age 4, and Caden, age 2. At this time, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to submit the name of Nicole Linda Lowenstein for induction into Lyndhurst High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Coach Hugh said Nicole unfortunately cannot be here with us this evening, but she did ask that we read her letter of acceptance.
Our next inductee is a member of the class of 2008. Our inductee earned 7 varsity letters from 2004 to 2008, 3 in basketball playing for Coach Chucky Martin, and 4 in baseball playing for fellow inductee and legendary baseball coach Frank Butch Cervideo. On the basketball court, our inductee's speed and quickness, combined with his soft shooting touch and his extremely high basketball IQ, made him an outstanding guard. He was a 3-year starter and a team captain in his senior year. During his sophomore year, he earned second-team All-League BCSL National, and as a junior and senior, he earned first-team All-League BCSL National. In his senior year, he averaged 12 points per game and also set the all-time record for career three-point field goals made in a career with 119, which to this day is still a school record. On the baseball diamond, which was his true love, our inductee was a 4-year starter at shortstop. And at the time, he was only the second freshman during Coach Cervidio's tenure to earn a varsity letter and to be a starter for a full season. He combined a great glove with range and his tremendous arm and a bat second to none to make the game look easy. He hit .349 as a freshman, .378 as a sophomore, earning second-team All-League BCSL National in both years. As a junior, he hit .451 and was selected first-team All-League BCSL National and second-team All-Area. In his senior year, he took it to an even higher level. As team captain, he helped lead the Golden Bears to a 26-5 record, a BCSL National Championship, and the overall Group 1 state championship. Yes, the team we just honored tonight. He batted an outstanding .489 with 32 runs scored, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. Had 16 RBIs, 19 stolen bases, and drew 29 walks, while playing an incredible shortstop, only making 4 errors in 150 total chances in 31 games, and that's pretty special. These statistics, as well as his reputation for being a big game player, earned him first-team All-League BCSL National, second-team All-Bergen County, first-team All-Area, and first-team All-State Group 1. Our inductee compiled a career .430 batting average and ranked second all-time in career hits with 129. Our inductee is a William Patterson graduate, where he also was a 4-year starter on the baseball team. He is currently a Weehawken police officer and resides in Emerson with his wife, Alexis. He is the proud son of Jerry and Doreen Doria, and the proud brother of former Lyndhurst alum Vincent Doria, who are all here tonight. I was fortunate enough to be an assistant baseball coach during our inductees years at Lyndhurst High School. It was truly a thing of beauty to watch him play the game the right way, day in and day out. His passion and work ethic to be the best player possible was second to none. I had a front row seat to see one of the best all-around baseball players in Lyndhurst High School history. And that's why, at this time, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present the name Anthony Doria for induction into the Lyndhurst High School Athletic.
No, it's the end of the night. Make it short and quick. Coach Terry, I want to say thank you for the introduction. When I got the call from Coach, it was, as he can tell you, I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say, how to say, but all I can say was thank you, and thank you to the committee for this selection. I want to also congratulate all the other inductees tonight. I want to thank my coaching staff. It's here, Coach O'Teary, just spoke, Coach Radigan, Coach Rizzo, Coach Walker, who's been here forever. Coach Servideo, my head coach for 4 years. And my basketball coach, who's also here tonight, Coach Martin. These coaches not only helped me guide me on the field or the court, but off as well. When asked, never did any of these coaches not stay late with me after practice, whether it was batting practice, field and ground balls, or actually jump shots in the gym. They're always there to help, and I thank each and every single one of you for all the time that you put in throughout my 4 years. A quick story: when I was a freshman on the baseball team, a lot of nerves. I had a few seniors that took me under their wing, not of course without a little teasing. We went on a trip on Maryland every year, as our coaches know. I had a few seniors, after practice, before we left for that trip, asked me if I would room with them. Of course I said yes. Not to know what I was getting myself into. When we got there, immediately, Mr. Walker, who's sitting here, can attest to this, that he was thrown on the bed. Those seniors teased me throughout the weeks upcoming, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to sleep a wink tonight. But these seniors also taught me other things as a freshman, that how to be a leader on a team, how to treat other younger fellow teammates. And I brought that to myself throughout my 4 years, as I said, some of my teammates here tonight. And speaking of my teammates, tonight is even more special, that my 2008 team is also here, getting honored tonight. And without you guys, this isn't possible. And for me to be up here, this isn't possible. You guys make the game easy, you guys make the game fun, and make the game and practice more enjoyable, and want to go to every single day in and day out. And I thank you guys for that. Lastly, I want to thank my personal support group from the beginning, my parents. Both working parents would come home from their normal jobs, also extracurricular, reffing. And every day I would ask, instead of playing video games or TV, take me out to the back, shoot some jump shots, play catch, take me to the field, and never without hesitation, my parents would do that, including my mother, who would ask me to throw the ball softly to her. So for all the years, the time, the effort that you put into me, again, I would not be here without you guys doing all that for me, on top of what you guys and your job and everything else that you've done, including my brother, who I would make be my catcher, and I would be the pitcher, and I would try and throw as hard as I can to him, and try and knock him over. But without that, without my teammates, without my parents, without Coach Martin, Coach Walker, Coach Servideo, Coach Altieri, Rizzo, and Radigan, this is not possible. And I thank everybody, thank the committee, congratulations to all the inductees. Thank you.
So if you just indulge me for another 2 minutes, we'll conclude this evening. Well, you just might be interested, we've been handing each of the inductees what we instituted maybe 10, 15 years ago, was a Hall of Fame pin. Okay, acknowledges each of our members, and unfortunately we were remiss in not wearing our pins this evening, but we thought it was a nice touch, and each inductee has received a pin this evening. They also get a card that will get them to each of in any athletic event at Lyndhurst High School. And that's the card that we've been handing them out as well. And that's been going on since day one that this committee was formed. So that's a tradition we carry on throughout this. Lastly, as we conclude this 30th induction dinner, our 39th years since when the committee was founded. I hope that each of you can join us next year to celebrate the 40th year from our first induction dinner. We want to make that truly a memorable event. It's our goal, and Mr. Carino has committed as well, to get back. Currently, we have 2 members of the original Golden Dozen who are alive with us still today, and we hope that they are still here with us next year to celebrate their 40th anniversary from when they were inducted into the Lyndhurst High School Hall of Fame. And I thank you all for coming this evening.